What's good? Welcome back to All 32. This is your boy Jamual. Stay tuned for a good show, man. We got reaction from Week 3 over the NFC East. What was? We got preview of Week 4. We tackled the Trump situation for a little bit. Definitely some good talk, man. Hopefully y'all stay tuned for the whole show and enjoy it. It was definitely a good one. Stay tuned, man. All right, thanks.
With me, I got three of my friends, my partners. Thomas, how you feeling tonight, bro? You good?
Yeah, man, I'm alright. I got my drink right here. Wanna know what I'm sipping?
Water.
Hey, man, I got some ice cold water. And the second's gonna turn into some wine. Thank you, Jesus.
Montel, how you feeling tonight, bro? You good?
Yeah, man, I'm feeling real classy tonight. Got me a little glass of wine with me as well. Feeling real classy, baby. Let's get it.
So, are you a person who drink with his pinky up?
I do. Pinkies up all day long.
Both of them.
Team pinky up.
Okay. All right, Nick. What about you, bro?
I'm feeling good. Man. I appreciate you for asking. You know what I'm saying? You a good guy, Jamal. Cheeks in your drawers, my boy. You got my wine too, man.
All right, man. I'm glad to hear that y'all are doing well tonight. So, you know, it's like I said before, it's been a wild week, man. I said I didn't want to bring it on the show, but I guess we can go ahead and talk about that. First things first, we're gonna go ahead and get the reaction from. Sorry about it. We're gonna go ahead and get the reactions from. Today is Tuesday night, so we're gonna get the reaction from Monday night's game, the Dallas Cowboys and the Arizona Cardinals. We do have a Cowboys fan on the show tonight. So Nick, we're gonna go ahead and get your first reactions. How do you think your boys played last night?
I think Dak Prescott played a hell of a game. Y'all keep calling my boy game manager, but he did his thing last night. He couldn't play no better. He kept us in good situations. He no turnovers. Like, he was balling for real. Dez had that one catch. That was great. My boy 19 looked good as usual. You know what I'm saying? He was good for at least one deep ball a game. Zeke got it going on a couple carries, but that's about it. The defense stepped up when they needed to. Shout out to DeMarcus Lawrence, 3 sacks yesterday. Could have got some more. But other than that, I feel like we played a good game. Another hard defense, and we got the W. Our coaches coached a hell of a game. I was actually surprised that we switched up to that 3. That I guess it was like $1 that we switched to, and that shit worked. That shit fucking worked, and I was so happy with my boys, man. Couldn't ask for a better W because it looked like we was about to be Denver Part 2, the way Carson looked in the first 2 drives, but we stepped it up, man. Proud of my boys. Proud of man. Go ahead.
You done crying like a little sucker?
You done crying like a little sucker? Check your drawers, Jamal.
All right. Anybody else got some comments on that Dallas victory last night? Montel, Thomas.
Here's what I'll say. I feel like Dallas did what they were supposed to do. They took advantage of a bad team, but that's what you have to do in this league when you play a bad team. You have to win those games, and they found a way to pull it out. Arizona has a pretty good defense, but the 50-50 ball last night was all Dallas all day, and the offensive line for the Arizona Cardinals really surprised me by how bad they were. They look a lot like the New York Giants, a pretty decent defense and a bad offensive line, and their offense gets stagnant. Dallas rushed 3 a lot of times last night, more times than I can count. They rushed 3 and still got pressure. That's bad. You need to reevaluate your offensive line. You need to make some changes. You need to do something. But that was unacceptable because that was a winnable game for the Arizona Cardinals, but it was a game in which they shot themselves in the foot defensively, giving up penalties, Robert Nkemdiche jumping off sides, Frosty Ruckers hitting guys in the helmet, just stupid stuff, you know what I mean? And you can't do that in this NFL because those are games that you will lose because the margin between teams is so small. You had the momentum and you gave that game away. It was a game that the Cardinals could have easily came away with, but the mental mistakes and the terrible offensive line play they really didn't even give themselves a chance. So that's just how I feel. Great win for Dallas. I wasn't impressed. They did what they were supposed to do, though. So I'll give them credit there.
All right, I mean, I like to add on the coaching too. The coaching for Arizona was bad too. I didn't really. First and foremost, when you're down 11, in what world are you going for it on fourth down in the red zone, knowing that you still got to get the onside kickback? You might as well just go ahead and get your points, save you some time.
Right.
I mean, even still, why would you even let it go down to 4th and goal? Because you're wasting so much time. You don't have any timeouts left, I think, or they had one, but it was still under 2 minutes left, and you still decided to go for it. I mean, save yourself some time. Save yourself some time. Kick the field goal, and move on from there. But I mean, even throughout the game, earlier on, there were some issues I had with Bruce Arians. I think the challenge, where he was the one who challenged it.
Oh God, yeah, that was
a
terrible.
Like he wasted a timeout, bro. It was clear as day, an incomplete pass. And the fool said, "Challenge it." Just said, "Challenge it anyway." And I mean, it was just so many things, bro. Terrible clock management, terrible use of challenges, honestly. So I mean, they did themselves, and it was a total team effort from staff to players. So yeah, that was that, man. Thomas, did you have anything to add? Or we good?
Man, any game that Carson throws 48 passes at this age, they're not going to win. I mean, that's just clear as day. How old is the guy?
37.
37, and he's no Tom Brady, and that's been made clear. But I mean, the fact that he's thrown over more than 40, I mean that didn't bode well, and that will never bode well for any team that they play. That he has to throw that much. I think what the leading rusher was Andre Ellington. He had 22 yards, and Chris Johnson had 12 carries for 17. So, I mean, just all around, just nonsense, like you guys were stating, but. One player, man, and we're just witnessing greatness, man. Larry Fitzgerald, man. Yeah, 13 for 150. And that one catch that he had over Scandrick, man, we're witnessing Hall of Fame greatness this day. So, yeah, that's all I had to add to it.
Okay. Let's go ahead and get to these Eagles, man. Look, first and foremost, I thought y'all blew the game. I really did. I thought y'all blew the game. 21 points, 24 points in the fourth quarter alone.
That was bad.
When y'all were completely dominating them the first 3 quarters, and more so the fact that they just didn't have anything going for them on the offense. Like they couldn't protect Eli. Eli just looked. He started off good, then he just it just went downhill. A lot of people I think it was a few drop passes too. Sterling Shepard didn't look good prior to the fourth quarter. It was just a lot of things going on. But you guys, Thomas, I'll go ahead and let you explain how you felt and how you guys won. But you guys ended up pulling it out at the end. But definitely a worrisome quarter, moving forward for the Eagles.
To say the least. And I like the fact that a lot of people were concerned with the run game. They definitely got that going, feeding LeGarrette. I'm definitely heartbroken that, we lost Sproles for the year. That really hurt us. But, I mean,
one of the wildest injuries I've ever heard.
Yeah,
tearing your ACL and breaking your arm in one play. That's...
Like, what do you grab? Like, when you're hurt.
And the thing is, the injury on tape, it didn't even look that bad. I didn't think all that happened. I thought he just, maybe ACL, because those don't always, seem like it's that bad at first, and then they ended up being something else later. But I didn't even notice when he broke his arm. I mean, he kind of pulled up when the guy came flashing in front of him, but it's neither here nor there. But, I was definitely concerned with the pass rush in the fourth quarter. I mean, we were getting after him all game, and man, it was just such a hot ass day in Philly because, man, that D-line got no pressure in the fourth. Eli had all day to throw, whether it was quick passes, and Sterling Shepard, he just, he got off for, one for, over 70 yards. So, I think they did a pretty good job at limiting the big plays besides that one with Sterling. But I do like the fact that Carson stayed composed after, letting them come back in the game. They were down a touchdown. They knew they needed a score to even it back up. And, he went down, did his thing, and ended up putting the ball in the end zone, which is what we needed. When he needed it most, he came through for us. So, I still am a little concerned about the lack of scheme that we have in the passing game. I see Carson, he's just taking, too much pressure, or he's not getting the ball out of his hands fast enough, or when he does, he really only hits Zach Ertz in those quick balls. And I do like the fact that, he is hooking up with Alshon Jeffrey. We just don't have that over-the-top deep threat. The only time is when a broken play happens, but other than that, I definitely need to see more out of Torrey Smith in that aspect. But, great game for the Eagles. Definitely that depleted secondary. We held on to, I told you, and I was telling you guys before the game, that the Giants can be scary when they actually get everything clicking, even though they haven't up until the fourth quarter on Sunday. But they can be that kind of team. That's, same kind of team we were scared of last year.
Okay. I said Thomas. Montel, Nick, do y'all got anything to add to y'all thoughts on the Eagles Giants game?
I do.
Go ahead, boss.
The Giants suck. Flat out. Flat out. I'm not even going to hold you, man. That offense is absolutely terrible. People say they got it going in the fourth quarter. They just had a couple big plays. That was it. They had a couple big plays. They didn't get anything going. I thought last week when they lost to Detroit, I thought maybe they figured it out. Maybe they'll get – no, that team is bad. That is a bad team right now. And I think it starts with that offensive line. Offense. I feel like they're not going to do anything this year. They're 0-3. I won't count them out because they are the New York Giants. But you got to take advantage of that Eagles secondary, man. You have to. Granted, I think I can't remember his name. Is it Douglas? I want to say it's Douglas. What's the cornerback's name that just came in, Thomas? I know you know what I'm talking about.
Rasul Douglas?
Yeah, he stepped up. You have Odell Beckham. You got Brandon Marshall. You got Shepard. You can't take advantage of that terrible secondary. I don't understand. You gotta be able to take advantage of those guys. You have to. And you couldn't take advantage of that secondary that's depleted with injuries right now.
But look at the scheme they ran. They were just sitting back, letting everything come underneath. They were just coming up, trying to make plays. How much you
got to be able to run the ball then. But you know what? They can't. Exactly. That's why I said they suck. They suck, bro. They suck. I have nothing else to say. And Eli, he's actually playing hard. He's not playing the greatest, but he's playing hard ball right now. And he played a lot better this past week than he's played in the previous two. But they are not a team that installs fear in anybody offensively. And Odell wants that huge contract. He wants to be the highest paid player. And he played a pretty good game too. But that offense is so dependent on Odell. They may have to give him that money. He may not even deserve. They may have to give it to him because he's literally the only. He's like a bailout for the New York Giants. It's actually a sad sight to see. They suck.
I like that.
Well, but this is the thing. What I say, and it kind of goes to your point, but it also is a credit to the offense. The defense in the second half, the fourth quarter, set them up in good opportunity, to score a touchdown. I think late to keep them in the game. I think they had the fumble. The Giants drove down the field, and then the next possession they got a fumble that set them up in good field position. They scored on that possession. I think that was the one that brought them within a touchdown, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, that's the one that brought them within a touchdown, 21-14. They capitalized on the opportunity that was given to them against the Eagles, and then you get a big play late. I think, and I don't necessarily say that wasn't a breakdown in coverage with the Sterling. Yeah, there wasn't a breakdown in coverage. It was just missed tackles and a play made by Sterling Shepard. So to your point, throughout the game they were struggling, but to credit the Giants offense, they were put in positions to score points by the defense, and they came through in the fourth quarter. So I give them that credit.
And that's fine. But do you not remember the possession at the end of the half, at the end of the first half, when they had an opportunity to score? The run game wasn't even a threat.
I mean,
the run game isn't
I'm
even
just talking
a
about
threat.
at the fourth quarter. Yeah.
No, and I understand. That's what I'm saying. Like, it was literally just big plays that bailed them out. At the end of the half, they had an opportunity to go in and score 7. They couldn't do anything. The run game was not even a threat. They threw it on 3rd down when I thought they should have ran. And on 4th down when I thought they should have passed, because I was like, you know what? I understand why he's not running the ball, because it's not a threat. They run the ball, he gets hit way in the backfield. It's not even that offensive line is so bad. You don't have a chance when your offensive line is that bad. And I witnessed that with the Cardinals last night. When somebody can rush 3 and still get pressure, you don't have a chance at winning that game. You really don't. There's no chance. I'm dropping 8 all day. Who's open? And I'm still going to get pressure with 3. You have no chance at winning. You got to be able to run the ball. You got to be able to sit in the pocket when somebody's rushing 3. You don't have a chance.
Nick, you got anything to add to this, or we good to move on?
I do have something to add. Montel, Eli can't get the ball to those receivers from his back or with a hand smacking him in the face. The O-line is so bad, bro. Like, the beginning, especially you got to think about it, their front 7 is so good. Like, all they was getting is pressure. So that's why that quick game, they was trying it for the longest. And eventually, I told you double move was coming, and they ran a couple of them. And shout out to Odell, man. Get that money. You know what I'm saying? It's coming soon, baby. We're going to be living large in like 6 months. So, I feel like Odell, like I said, he all they got. He going to have to do everything he going to have to do, bro, until they get. I feel like it's got to be somebody free agency, somebody sitting on somebody's couch that can do better than everybody on their O-line right now. So I feel like they should just wash them all out. You got Highway 74 on the left side. You just pick up the replacements, bro. If they can do it, bro, I'm sure like somebody's out there, like anybody. I can go out there and do what they do. All they do is getting paid to let people hit Eli. So that's a check. Sign me up, baby. But that's all I gotta say for real. Good game by the Eagles. I'm surprised y'all won that job the way y'all gave up in the 4th quarter. It was a lucky field goal. It was a lucky field goal. Put it like that. 61 yards that barely made it. I wanted y'all to game go to overtime, but it didn't. I was pretty disappointed. But see y'all at the top.
Hey, Eli's immobility doesn't help that O-line either. So it's the fact that he can't really move around, a combination with the fact that they're not that good already to begin with. So, yeah, that's a recipe for disaster.
All right, let's go ahead and get to that last game, that Sunday nighter. Redskins, Oakland. Marcel, since you were the only one to call it last week, you got the floor first. Go ahead and get your thoughts out there. What you saw, what you liked, everything, anything in general, man. Go ahead and get your thoughts. You got the floor.
First and foremost, Jamal, I want to thank you personally for pointing out the fact that I was the only one to call it.
The only game you got right.
Secondly, probably this weekend was a crazy one. But secondly, our defense did exactly what I thought that they would do. Maybe not to the extent that I thought that they would do it, but they showed up. Our defense showed up and showed out on Sunday night.
On the big stage.
I was definitely hyped. I mean, Nick and Jamal, you were at Fridays with me. I was a little bit under the influence, but I was definitely hyped. I was probably one of the only ones in there screaming every time a play was made. But
no, you and Big Boy.
Oh yeah, me and Big Boy. Shout out to Big Boy. Don't know your name, Big Boy.
Big Boy.
Go ahead.
Bro had redskin beads on his neck, bro. He a coon, bro.
But that was just a well executed game by the offense and the defense. Offense too, but defense, they came out and they shut down everything. They came out with attitude. DJ Swearinger putting that hit on Marshawn Lynch. I just hope that momentum, that type of play, and that momentum carries over next week.
That was nasty.
A heck of a game by my boys. I can't really. It's not even much that I can say. We just executed and we were clicking on all cylinders. I haven't seen that from the Redskins in a long time. Run game was going. Pass.
Not like literally. Like you haven't seen that since like before we were born.
Yeah,
last time it happened was '91 season.
Yeah, I literally haven't seen that type of performance from the Redskins where we were just clicking on all cylinders at the same time, and it was just like, you know what? It was great to see. It was a blowout game. You knew the Raiders never had a chance, and that's a Raiders team that is good, and we put up that type of performance. I hope that they perform like that next week because we've seen games where the Redskins perform like that. And I always go back to 2012 when we played our asses off against the Cowboys. Not 2012, 2014. I'm sorry. Played our asses off against the Cowboys, and then next week came back against the Vikings, and we looked flat. I don't want to see that type of performance next week. We're going on Monday night, another big stage in Arrowhead. I hope we come up with that same attitude and that same type of momentum, and hopefully we can pull it off next week.
Okay. Thomas, Nick, y'all got any thoughts on the game?
I'm gonna let Thomas go first.
A couple. Man, I'm just glad they got my boy Doxson in the end zone. That was a pretty good play. What was that over Emerson?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, over there.
Oh yeah, he made him feel exactly. That's why he made him feel that every inch of that end zone. So yeah, shout out to my boy from TCU. And yeah, I mean the Redskins, man, they just had all the answers. I'm really more so shocked that Breland he played pretty well too, man.
That's not a surprise anymore.
Shocked.
That's not a surprise anymore. I'm sorry.
I'm only saying that because of the matchup. Because I mean, there was I mean, those are two good receivers. I mean, Norman he's held his own, against the top in the NFL, and those two receivers are, one of the, few of the top in the NFL. And I mean, can Breland hold his own against those? And he did. So I mean, shout out to him and that whole secondary, man. That hit Swearinger gave, man. That got me hyped. I'm like, man, if we can lay some wood like that on the Eagles, then that would get me pretty, feeling pretty good about our defense. And you guys definitely got a big test next week, and we're gonna see. I mean, is Kansas City there still ranked number one? I believe so.
Yeah.
So
number one in the power rankings.
That's gonna be a big feat, and you're gonna really see what kind of team you are early season, going up against those boys. And what's the timeline for Rob Kelly? Because
still day to day.
Man, that boy Chris Thompson, man, he actually earned my respect. I mean, he's already earned it, but he really earned my respect. Those plays that he made. So I mean, everything seems to be going for the Redskins right now. I still don't. I wish I could see a little bit more out of Pryor. That was the big hype. Coming into the season, I still haven't seen it.
I mean, we all wish that at this point.
I mean, he's the number one. He
still
play like a number one.
Yeah, we still waiting. But I think the thing is with him, is just the fact that, and this is all right. This is what sucks, because when I was down at training camp, I saw Josh Doxson and I saw Terrell Pryor. They were eating, bro. They were cooking, bro. And it's not fair to most fans because, like, for example, for a guy like Montel who wasn't at training camp, you heard all these good things about these guys and you don't see it on the field. It's like, it's frustrating because it's like all it was hype. That's what it would look. That's what it would seem like. But it's not hype. Like, it's the fact that you've seen these guys do these things, but it's not translating to the game yet. Josh Doxson, you finally get to see what we've been seeing at training camp in the actual game. But the thing with Terrell Pryor is that he's also still learning as a receiver. And it's kind of frustrating because when you seen him in camp, I guess he wasn't really doing it was more so like 7-on-7s where he was doing well. It was more so, and it also wasn't contact. Like, he wasn't getting hit, so he didn't have no fear going across the middle in the full team scrimmages and stuff like that. But when things are live, I guess he still has to figure out, certain things of playing a receiver and also having to remember to bring his hands onto the field once the game starts. So once you're able to, first and foremost, learn how to catch consistently, become a reliable target, because it doesn't look like he's that. Then he can start, being trusted more, get more targets, and especially in critical areas, because that's when we need a number one receiver, somebody who can go get the ball, somebody we can trust in critical moments, and he's just not that guy right now. It's more so Chris Thompson.
I was gonna say, that's Chris Thompson, man.
Right. So
hey, Vernon Davis had a pretty good game too.
Yeah, he shook the mess out of somebody. I think
Sean Smith.
Sean Smith ain't playing.
Fool, Sean Smith got cooked like 3-4 times in that game by Vernon Davis.
He was better off not playing.
I'm about to say,
yeah, he was better off not playing, but I'm glad he did.
Yeah, that's it.
Nick, you got any comments to add, bro?
Yeah, man, I just want to give a shout out to cover 1, cover 2, cover 3, cover 4. Man, that post game interview was probably one of the funniest things I've seen all weekend, bro. He said something about 200 yards. Did they get 2 catches? Bro, I was in the crib cracking up, bro. But nah, I get up to the scans. Not too much to say about it. Y'all played their asses off. Y'all made their O-line look like the Giants line. Like they look terrific, bro. And then Derek Carr really surprised me, but you know what I'm saying. Watching the tape, he not what I thought he was. He more of a game manager type quarterback. And his stats that I seen last year, now I see why they think his stats, bro. I don't know what they're gonna do, but they don't get that running game going. He look like he can carry the squad for real. But good win for the Skins. Hope y'all get happy and excited so you can crush y'all dreams week 17. Let's go, baby. That's all I like to do.
And I think the one thing that annoys me after this game, is just the fact that people overanalyze it. Like, for example, this is what I mean. We whooped the Raiders' ass. It's like plain and simple. We whooped their ass. However, like for the NFL power rank has got us top 10. Like we're 7th in the NFL after we beat the Raiders like that.
No,
and it goes to Montel's, and we're in front of the Packers, by the way. Yeah, but and my point is the fact that it goes to Montel's point when you're saying you get all this recognition and you do it in a big game, you get all this recognition, people are starting to respect you more. But how do you react after you get that respect? Do you just go down the drain the very next week and be like, damn, we put all our energy into that Sunday nighter and we forgot to show up against the Kansas City Chiefs? Like you don't. If once you get that respect, there's something that you've been fighting for. It's not even just this season, for a long time at this point. Something that you've been fighting for a long time. You don't just let it go after 1 week. Like your work's not done. So the thing with the Redskins, they constantly do it, like just based off history. They constantly do it. They get disrespect, and then they just let it go the very next week. So it's not about what they did against the Raiders. It's more so how they respond from this point on, because you got into a position where you're respected, but how do you respond to the attention that you received after that Sunday night beatdown? So that's the one thing I got out of the Raiders game. We played well. It was something for fans, something to look forward, like something to keep your hopes up for the season. Like I remember when Montel, when the game was over, he was like, he was screaming. He was like, "Yeah, I got hope." And I was just like, I was like, bro. I mean, he right. I'm about to say he right, but it's like those are the type of wins that fans need. But as a professional, like they already moved on. Like that game is past them now. It's Tuesday. This show will be coming out on Wednesday. That game's past them. So how do they respond moving forward? Like, do they still got it in their head that they're playing Oakland this week, or do they realize that they're playing arguably the best team in the NFL right now?
Right now.
All right. So go ahead, man. We're gonna go ahead and get to the news that happened over the weekend and Friday. We all know the Trump situation. He spoke in a rally, I think in Alabama, I believe, basically calling out NFL owners and basically calling the players sons of bitches, quote unquote. Those are his words. He called them sons of bitches. Said they needed to get fired if they decided to kneel, or they should get fired if they decided to kneel. The crew wanted to talk about it, so I'll definitely grant that wish. Fellas, it don't matter who goes first. What are y'all thoughts about the reaction? If you want to talk about what Trump said, cool. But what are your thoughts on the reaction that happened over the weekend? Also, the Packers and Bears, they decided they're going to be taking action this Thursday in the Thursday night game too. But what are your thoughts on everything that took place since that Friday statement made by Trump?
Well, I'll go ahead and touch on it because I'm gonna try to keep it as short as I can. Because in all honesty, I'm just kind of done talking about this. I think it needs to be seen for what it is. And that's exactly what needs to be done. You can have your opinion. This is America. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I don't think so many people should be getting so offended if someone chooses to kneel. I don't think anyone should get offended if someone chooses to stand. And that's just how I feel about the situation personally. I found out some interesting information today about Cap. And I may be a little late, and you guys can call me late. I know we do that. Y'all can call me late on the situation or whatever. But I didn't know, and if anybody hasn't seen Nick Wright's video, please go and look that up because he made some amazing points, and it'll make you ask yourself questions, and that's why I love Nick Wright so much. because he'll make you question yourself. He'll make you take complete bias out of any situation, and you'll have to just feed yourself facts and feed yourself truth. But I'm just going to touch on one of the points that he expanded upon when he stated that Kaepernick actually went up to Nate Hoyer and asked Nate Hoyer, what's a more respectful way to do it? So I'm not disrespecting the flag, because initially Kaepernick was sitting for the national anthem.
You're talking about the long snapper from Seattle.
Right. So initially Kaepernick was sitting opposed to even kneeling for the anthem. And kneeling is not a sign of disrespect. It's actually a sign of respect, because a lot of veterans, I even have a veteran that works at my job. So a lot of people want to say, oh, he's disrespecting the flag. Well, veterans use kneeling when a soldier has fallen. They use that as a sign of respect. So my thing is, you can completely take he's disrespecting the flag out of the case now, because Kaepernick nor the players were ever disrespecting the flag. So why are you really upset? That's my question to everybody. You're really upset. And I'm just going to say this, on the show, a lot of people are really upset for the reason that we're protesting, but they will never say that. They won't say I'm upset because you're protesting for equal rights. They won't. They'll never say because they feel like we shouldn't be protesting for that. But I'll just leave it at that. I don't think anyone should be offended for someone kneeling for the national anthem or standing for the national anthem. It is what it is. If they want, do what you want to do. It's just my personal opinion. I won't say much else, but just stop using the flag as kind of your argument, because no one's disrespecting the flag. If you're mad at because he's protesting, say you're mad because he's protesting. Be honest. So that's just my opinion.
Nick or Thomas, y'all got the floor next.
First of all, shout out to my man Shannon Sharp. He's one of the realest dudes on TV. I was actually I was excited to see everybody come together, but I was disappointed in the reason of why they came together, for real. I feel like they could have been doing this all last year, but it took the president to call everybody's sons of bitches, for the owners to get behind them, and also for most of the players to be like, oh, now I'm fed up. I mean, I feel like you should have been fed up last year when all these people were getting killed, and Wildcat was actually telling people while he was kneeling. So that was big to me, and then it actually blew me yesterday when Jerry Jones had the whole team come out and take a knee. Take a knee before the thing, and then I actually seen him actually go. He broke the chain to go get the camera people, and
wow,
and
I didn't see that.
Come back and focus
I didn't see that. I ain't see that.
Yeah,
I didn't notice that.
It's just it's little things. It's little things like that. If you think about it, the camera was on him the whole time. I don't know if y'all peeped that, but it was literally on him. And I think it went on Stephen Jones for a quick second. Stephen Jones like this, but you going to get the media to come look at you kneel, you're basically doing this for PR. I feel like a lot of owners did that for PR.
I feel that
yesterday. Shout out to Mike Tomlin, though. Shout out to the Tennessee Titans and the Seahawks for not even coming out. I respected the Seahawks because I know they've been doing this for a while. They've been behind them.
Yep.
A couple people like Michael Jenkins, he's been behind them, and it's just a lot to take in at one time. But it just shouldn't have took the president to call everybody sons of bitches and to talk about the NFL ratings and how the numbers dropping and to talk about the owners' money and how they losing money, for everybody to come together and be like, oh, now I'm fed up. But I seen a lot of post-game interviews as well, and I seen a lot of people a couple people from the Dolphins. I think in safety, he had good intentions. A lot of people had good intentions. A lot of people just did it just cause. But I'm happy for the NFL because they did actually come together, and they just fed up. I mean, it took some extreme some extreme words, but they finally, did it. But it doesn't matter what they do now. It matters what they do for the rest of the year and how they address the media for the rest of the year, how they address the whole thing for the rest of the year. It's only 1 week. We got a whole season. We got a whole another whatever years of the NFL. So hopefully they can make a change. But Cap started something good, and people uncomfortable. So I guess it's working right now. People are very uncomfortable with what's going on. So That's all I gotta say for real.
Tom's, you had anything to add?
Yeah, I too felt that the owner's message that they were trying to send by kneeling with their team was very insincere. I feel like it was just too little too late for me, for the same reasons that Nick just talked about. And I mean, what really surprised me was that some of these same owners are the same people that are donating millions of dollars to Trump's campaign, pre-election and all that, including Robert Kraft for the Patriots, and who and I heard this on Undisputed, who Shannon was talking about how, well, I'm sorry, not Shannon, Skip. He was talking about how Kraft, even after his late wife passed, that Donald Trump, he would call weekly, to check up on the guy, and he considered him to be.
Hold on, you said what? You said Trump will call up on Kraft or Kraft?
Yeah, he would.
Trump called Kraft, and he would check up on him to see how he was doing, and ask if he needed anything after his wife passed. I forget what year that was, but yeah, that just goes to show how close of a friendship that they had, and then you see how they treated that whole anthem thing on Sunday, but. Yeah, I just think it's just a little too late for me. I definitely did not think that it would come to this effect. The fact that Cap, he was the only one kneeling at one point in time. Now you got whole teams kneeling, whole teams
Right.
staying in the locker room. I did not think it would get this big. I really thought that it was just an uphill battle for him, that he just was not really gonna win. And I supported everything he was doing. I definitely believe in freedom of expression and all that. I too have sat, during a national anthem, at the Eagles game that I went to, me and my girlfriend. So, that we were sitting because we also believe that there is just social injustice, and we just didn't want to stand for that. So, I go back to saying that just going forward, it's hard to tell what direction that this whole thing is going to, head into. Definitely raised awareness. I mean, everybody should know about it. I mean, even if you don't watch the NFL, you heard something about it. And I think that the fact that Trump made that statement, he inadvertently caused a big roar for, the NFL to at least become united, at least on camera, and that's sometimes that just might be what it takes for at least people to get the point that it's very divisive. Same thing that Tom Brady said. It's very divisive what Trump said about people not standing for the flag, and I mean he's had multiple other statements that have create a racial divide and moral divide between our people. And I mean it's just sad to say that that we're dealing with this in this now day and age, like more than ever. And I mean, it might be that Trump might have been the best thing to happen to this country, because the fact that he's been so controversial in all his statements, it's making you realize that these problems are more prevalent than ever. And I hope that it heads in the right direction. I don't really have the answer on how we can solve these racial injustices and the killing of unarmed black men and women. And it just might take a great effort that we just have not come to realize yet.
Yeah, I mean, all three of you said it perfectly, honestly. So I don't have too much to add personally. I just think that one of the things with Trump, he does always find a way to make it about him. And he definitely stole the show on Friday with his comments, and then in reaction, the owners finally decided to make a stand, or to show their support for the NFL and their players, and join them, whether it's just locking arms or whether it's kneeling. Some did kneel, some just locked arms. Teams stood in the locker rooms or stood in the hallway, whatever, I forgot what it's called, the tunnel, just to show their type of protest. But I think when I say he made it about him, is more so like a lot of people were talking about what Trump said and then how the NFL reacted, but it's not necessarily, and it's really just strictly NFL. But Kaepernick was protesting for a specific reason. It had nothing to do with the NFL. It also, at the time when he was protesting, it had nothing to do with Trump because Trump wasn't elected yet. But I mean, the thing is, I mean, now with Trump in office, it has now become a bigger problem, or it has raised more awareness, is what I should say. To Thomas' point, it could have been the best thing because he is when you think of as a minority and even as a Caucasian person or a white person who is aware of these things and not in denial that racism does exist, that bigotry exists, that all the negative entities out there that they may not exist. He's an example, and some are still in denial, which shocks me. But he's the perfect example you could point to as a person who represents a good majority of everything that a lot of people didn't think existed still, whether they want to believe it or not. And that's to this point for me. I'm not with the arguing. It's clear as day to a lot of people, regardless. And Shannon Sharp said it best, and he is pretty much the sounding board of this argument because we did see what Shannon Sharp said in our group chat. A lot of people who supported him, including Robert Kraft, unfortunately, our owner, my owner, or my team's owner, not my owner, but my team's owner, Daniel Snyder,
let's make
who
that
supported
clear.
him. A few other people that I can't, Shad Khan, of the Jaguars. A few other people that I can't think of right now, but they supported him. But it goes back a long time that his history is documented, and especially his family's history is documented. So regardless of if he didn't show that light to them personally, they knew for a while, probably through word of mouth or probably through the media, the type of person that he is when he's not around you. That just is what it is. So I'll just leave it at that for my sake. You guys said it perfectly. Honestly, I can't add too much on to that. So it's definitely a tough issue for the country. And it sucks that a lot of people are angry over the fact that people are protesting in a way that they don't want them to protest. A protest is not meant for you to be satisfied with. You do it to create an issue. To bring awareness to an issue is what I should say. You do it to bring awareness to an issue, whether if you like the method or not. That it doesn't matter. It's peaceful. It's not harmful to anybody. So get over it. Honestly, just get over it, bro.
And I think another question is, what's the and we've asked this a million times and no one has ever given us an answer. What's the correct way to protest?
There is no correct way to protest.
Right. What's the correct way?
They don't want them to protest at all.
Exactly. And I think that's what I'm saying. Everybody just needs to be honest with themselves. There is no correct way. You don't want people to protest. That's just what it is. So when you protest, you're supposed to make people feel uncomfortable. So Cap's going down in history, man, regardless if people like it or not. He's going down in history.
Yeah. Cap wasn't the first person to do this, though.
They need to sign him, man.
Another dude in the NBA did this a while back. He played in Big Three now. I forgot his name, but I know.
Some other dude, and he wore the dashiki to the to the White House.
Abdul Raif.
Yeah, him. Exactly. He sat down during the national anthem as well, and he got bounced around the league till they finally just let him go completely. Well, so he's not the first one, but his is making a bigger impact. I can say that.
Yeah, it is.
And also, I was thinking the other day, what if say somebody else was doing something for another cause, I don't think we would have the same reaction from everybody else. Say somebody was doing something for rape or domestic violence or dog violence when Michael Vick got locked up.
Right, dog violence.
I don't think people would be as uncomfortable as they are right now because they know how big this is in our country. So that's another thing to think about. That's what I'd be thinking about. If it was just another cause, would they be so at ease? So I guess tense or whatever, so tight, just because they're talking about black people getting shot. I don't know. It's just crazy, but it's the world we live in. But we trying to make it better day by day. So That's it, man.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and end this one on the picks, man.
Let's go,
Now,
baby. Let's go.
What we'll do next week?
Wait,
Because
I gotta keep track tonight because I got my note pen and my notepad right on me because last week we didn't
You
keep
was
track.
awful.
I wasn't.
well, you cut me off before I was.
I'm tired of
able to
people talking
tell
about,
you.
oh, I was right about this. Nah, let me get my pen and pad. I'm keeping track tonight.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Before you cut me off, I was going to say now what we'll do next week, before we start the show, is we'll actually bring the tally in from the first 3 weeks of the season and see what the record is. So Montel, you go ahead and do what you got to do now. So I'm glad you got your pen and paper so we can save. Going back to this week and saying we can just look at the first 3 weeks. Go ahead and get your pen and paper and jot everybody's answers down. We got let me see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think 7 games. We'll go ahead and breeze through them though. It's only 4 of us. So we got 7 games. Let's go ahead and get through these things right quick. Start with the Pittsburgh and Baltimore game. Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Pittsburgh is favored by 3 points against Baltimore. Montel, since you're writing, we'll go ahead and save you for last. You could jot down everybody's answers. Nick, who you got on this?
Who's at home? That's the biggest thing. Who's at home?
Ravens.
The Ravens at home.
Ravens at home.
Ravens just got smacked though. What's the spread?
Yeah, -3, sir.
Oh man, I'm gonna go with the Ravens just got smacked. I'm gonna go with the Steelers because they just lost as well in the overtime game. Like it was bad where they lost. So I think they'll bounce back. I think the Ravens. I think it'll be a close game. Steelers probably by 3. Like it's gonna be tough.
Okay, so okay, so you're gonna take Pitt and the points. Okay.
So it's 2.5 or it's 3.5.
I said 3.
You just making up numbers.
Nah, because you know how it don't ever be 3 on the dot.
So we calling spreads
I
too?
don't know what you talking about.
Cool.
All right, man. Pitt. Let's go Pitt. I can't. I gotta go with the best quarterback.
We could just put down the team that we think gonna win. I just say the spread for the simple fact that I'm a gambling man, so I gotta stay in gambling mode 24/7.
Already know.
But
yeah.
So
-3. Lock it
top
in.
betters. So Steelers for Nick. Thomas, who you got?
I got Steelers. We got Ravens coming off that terrible loss, and I mean they got a long commute back. Steelers got more time to prepare. Steelers in 3.
Steelers in 3. Okay, so he got the Steelers as well. You know what? Give me.
The Steelers.
I'm gonna go with the Ravens, man. And I'm gonna go with the Ravens simply for the fact that it's always a divisional game. I say it's always a divisional game. It's always
Really?
a close game.
For real?
Yeah, for real. I didn't know that at first. But it's always a close game between Baltimore and Pittsburgh, and the home team typically ekes it out against one another. So I'm gonna go Ravens, and for the simple fact that they just lost 42-7 or whatever the
44-7. Yep.
44-7.
For my coworkers today.
You didn't
did.
You looked asleep. You got your ass whooped. You're not gonna let it happen again, especially in back-to-back weeks. So I expect them to play much better, especially at home. So give me the Ravens plus the 3. And we leave this one with Montel, man. Who you got?
I'm gonna let y'all know now. This is always. I don't care what anybody says. Records don't matter. Personnel doesn't matter. Teams don't matter. This is always literally. This is always the hardest game to pick.
Yeah.
And whenever it comes to betting, I stay away from this game every single year. Steelers and Ravens, bro. It's gonna be a classic, and I don't care who's playing. The Ravens can be 3-9, and
So
the
what's your
Steelers
pick?
can be, and the Ravens, the Steelers can be 9-3. I'm gonna go with the Ravens, man, because they just tough. They're like nasty. Like, and granted, they got their tails whipped this weekend. That wasn't the Ravens team we know and love. They're gonna come out smacking heads this weekend. We lived in Baltimore, so we know how the Ravens get down. I'm going with the Ravens this week.
Well, okay, man. Not the lone wolf. This on that one. So that's pretty good. All right, let's go ahead and get to this. Dallas. I got Dallas up next. Dallas and the Rams. LA goes to Dallas to.
I'm gonna go last.
As a 7-point underdog.
You know,
Rams is 7-point underdog against Dallas. So who are y'all taking? Thomas, I'll let you go first with this one.
And the Rams have been looking good, but I like the Cowboys at home.
Okay, Cowboys at home. Mark it down. Are you gonna pick a spread or you good, bro?
Nah, we gonna keep it at that because.
All right, okay, Nick. What about you, man? Who you got? Oh, let me guess. You got the Rams.
Oh, of course not. I got my boys. You gonna win this game, bro.
Hey, according to you, y'all be 4-0.
I said 4-0, 3-1, and we'll be about to be 3-1. Rams is gonna be a tough outing. Of course, okay. I know Montel gonna say, man, they got a good defense. This is a low key bad matchup for y'all again. They do got a good defense. I think they solid. I think we can hold Jared Goff into make him throw some mistakes. Give us a couple of turnovers, hopefully. If not, we gonna force them to get some field goals in the red zone. So I got us by like, what's the spread?
It's
7.
-7.
-7. I don't know about that one. I'm gonna think about that.
You said I'm gonna think about it. All right, well, go ahead and give me the Cowboys too. But I'll do. You can put me down for the Cowboys, but I think the Rams cover it plus the 7. I mean, it's the Rams. I really don't trust them against good teams. So I just gotta make them prove me wrong. I doubt I put them on a ticket because I do not trust them, unless I put Dallas on the money line. But yeah, I doubt I put them on the ticket. But they just gotta prove they gotta show me something because they ain't beat a good team yet. So I mean that's that. Montel, who you got?
And it sucks now because now that we keeping track, I actually feel some kind of pressure. But what I'm gonna go ahead and do, and I hate doing this, I'm gonna go ahead and pick Dallas, man. I feel like they got into some sort of. I feel like they get.
Let's hope we jinx them.
I'm saying Montel bags up, bro. Hey, bro.
Good. But I feel like
I'm taking the skins.
I feel like that the Cowboys got into a little bit of a rhythm last night, which is kind of scary, man. I don't think the Rams and like Mall State, they haven't been a good team. I don't think they're good of a team, and y'all heard me say that last week. That defense actually looks very vulnerable this year.
Man, they let the 49ers do that.
That's what I'm saying. That defense looks vulnerable this year, and I don't think that offense is that great. They just played a couple defenses that aren't that great, and I don't think the Skins went in there had a great week against them. They gave up, like I said, they didn't give up much, but when they did, they gave up a lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with Dallas. I think Dak takes advantage of that bad defense, and I think Dallas gives up a few some points, and I think it's a little bit of a shootout. But I'm gonna go with Dallas to pull it off. The better quarterback and the better team is gonna win that day.
Okay, all right. So it's a clean sweep for Dallas.
Fellas.
What we got next? The Tennessee Titans. Okay, so the Tennessee Titans are on the road against the Houston Texans. Tennessee is a 1.5 point favorite. Let's go ahead and start this off with Mr. Snick. Snick, who you taking?
Oh, it's easy. I'm going with the Houston Texans. I was surprised yesterday. Not yesterday, on Sunday, how good they played versus the Patriots.
Yeah, I was too.
Not just the offense, but like the defense. Look, even though they gave up that last second touchdown, Mariota is not Tom Brady. And I don't think that they can do the same thing that the Patriots did. And Deshaun Watson looked great. He's finally coming into. He had this one beautiful throw in the back of the end zone to my boy Fedorowicz, A4 baller. So I definitely don't think they could block J.J. Watt, Jadavion Merciless. I don't think they're gonna block them tomorrow. Sunday. So Houston, might be a little blowout, man. I think the Titans will have like a little lag from that Seattle win. I think they're gonna be overhyped and just go into Houston and just get dog.
Okay.
Bro, bruh.
Right. He be doing that on purpose. He
He
know
do.
who on this, who the co-host on the show. But okay, so Thomas, who you got, man?
But I don't like Nick going first because it seems like I'm taking all his picks. But yeah, I mean, I like the Titans, man. I like everything that Deshaun Watson did this past week. I mean, the Patriots defense, I mean, it's a little suspect, but I mean, just that game alone gave him a lot of confidence. I feel like Mariota and the boys, I mean, they're coming off a high, being a Seattle team that, hasn't looked the best this season. And, I mean, they're going into Houston. Houston has a lot to play for, considering, the floods that happened and everything like that. So they'll definitely have, more passion in that game. And I just think they pull it out.
Okay.
Hey, Thomas,
Right.
just say everything Nick just said. That's what I think, too.
I had to say it even better, though.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and get the Texans straight up. So I'll probably put them on the money line so I can get a little cash in my pocket.
Okay.
So put the Texans down for me. I don't think the Texans defense, like they was going up against Tom Brady, like Nick said. Even still, like it was too many mislaps in that. I don't expect that to happen again. They still are a good defense, a very good defense. So I expect the Titans to have more fits against the Texans. Also expect the Texans offense to keep going, to keep playing well like they have been. They've improved each week with Watson under helm. It's only been 2 weeks, but they've improved from that first week to the second week. So I got the Texans straight up. Mato, who you got?
All right. So, Nick last week, he said that Tennessee will blow it in the last minute. I feel like this is one of those games. I feel like last week they showed up, but I feel like this week is the week that they blow it in the final minutes. Like y'all said, Houston Texans, that offense is starting to click a little bit. We all know that defense is pretty good. They got a lot of talent on that side of the ball. Tennessee, and I'm so glad that Ryan's not on the show. They real deal this year. They are real. They gonna be good this year. They gonna win 10+ games, but they lose this weekend. I'm going with the Houston Texans.
All right, so it is a clean sweep.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Sweet.
Where's the controversy?
Tom picked Tennessee.
I thought he said Tennessee was good, but he was going with the Texans.
He said I like he messed up. He said I like Sean Watson and the Titans.
I didn't say Deshaun. I said Mariota and the boys, but I never said anything about Deshaun Watson and the Titans. You gotta listen. You gotta hear me, but you not listening.
Okay, so you're the lone wolf.
Nah, I ain't said the Titans. I said the Texans.
Texans, bro, that's crazy.
Son,
I was just telling you what I said. Why would I be talking about all this stuff about Deshaun Watson and then take the
Yeah,
Titans?
I'm trying to tell you said the Titans with the.
You did say the Titans, bro. We
That's
gonna
what I'm
run the
saying.
show.
He started off saying I like the Titans.
I was just saying that I like the Titans. That's it. I didn't say I like the Titans to win.
But you don't even like the Titans. You like the Eagles. Let's go. Next segment.
Wait a minute.
This man, Monte.
Oh,
All right, well, speaking of the Eagles, they were up next anyway. So let's see how much of a fan that Thomas really is. Now that I'm questioning his fanhood after this one. Eagles are on the road against the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers are a 1-point favorite. So let's see where we go from here. Thomas, you got the first one on this. Who you taking?
They're going to change it up as soon as... All right.
You sure you getting tired of going behind Nick?
Man, and even when I joined the show, I told everyone that I'm a fair Eagles fan. I'm realistic.
Spit it out, buddy.
I don't know. I just have a feeling that the Chargers are going to win.
And they're due.
That's what I'm worried about. They are definitely due for a win. They've had some hard losses this year, very close ones, And the Eagles are they're on a high rate now. I mean, they didn't look good in that last quarter. Definitely got some issues to iron out at running back and the secondary. I mean, we might get a few pieces back, maybe. I mean, there's still, this injury is still lingering, so we haven't solved that problem. And I got the Chargers.
Okay. All right. Nick, who you got?
You said the Chargers at home, right?
Yes, they are at home.
So I'm gonna take the Chargers only because they probably play at like 1:00, and that's like a 9:00 game for the Eagles because that
They play at 4.
It is a 4:00 game Eastern time.
dang, bro, that's crazy. Well, that's a 1:00 game for them, but I still got the Chargers regardless. I don't care. Chargers, they do for a win. I feel like Phillip Rivers will take advantage of the bad secondary, not the bad, but the young secondary of the Eagles. And I got the Chargers. I4. And the defense is pretty good in LA too. So I think they'll be all right. Joey Bosa.
All right.
All that athleticism. Wentz got sack, baby. Joey Bosa not going for that.
All right. So I think what I'll do here, I'll go out on a whim. Give me the Eagles, man. I don't know. I really don't have much to say. I know that the Chargers play everybody close, but I don't think, even though I want to say that they're typically the most slept on team each year, heading into a season, they just don't look that good. They don't look that good this year. Even though they play teams close, they don't have enough to get them over the hump and win those games. So give me the Eagles on the road plus the 1. So I'll take them. Montel, who you got?
I'm going to tell you now, bro. You are smoking penises. I'm going with the Chargers. Man. And the reason I say that, the Chargers' schedule has really been, unfair, bro. But they come into this week, they get a team who's not great offensively. They're not great defensively. They're a middle-of-the-pack team.
Damn, Montel.
I think that the Chargers will be able to take advantage of that depleted defense, and I think
secondary.
Yeah, secondary. Yeah, yes, you're right. They'll be able to take advantage of that depleted secondary, and I think that the Chargers are good enough offensively to defensively to stop the Eagles from scoring. So I think that the Chargers are a pretty balanced team. They just had a crazy schedule to start off the season, which is ridiculous. I mean, their schedule to start off is pretty rough, so I'm going with San Diego this week.
All right, so I'm the lone wolf, and I accept that. I'm cool with that. I understand that. All right, now we on to the Giants, man. We got what? Giants, and we got 2 more games after the Giants. Giants are on the road against the Buccaneers. 0-3 Giants, 1-1 Bucks. Tampa Bay are 3-point favorites. So, Nicholas, sir, you have the first go, man. Who you got?
Sorry.
I don't even know, bro. The way Tampa Bay just played over the weekend, bro. Case Keenum licked them boys up. I don't know.
They just lost to Levante David too.
I did not know that.
High ankle sprain. Yeah, he out for a couple of weeks, I think.
Okay, no Levante. Giants get their first win. I can't say the Chargers will get their first one. I think they got a little bit of rhythm at the end of the game versus Philly. Might get a. They can't afford to lose this game. This is a winnable game for them. And Jameis has not really looked too good. Especially, I don't even know how blown I was. Lost so much money this weekend. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Giants to get their first dub. 1-3 Giants over Jameis and the Bucks.
All right, man. Thomas, who you got, man? Who do you have, buddy?
I don't even know. If I had to pick, which I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Giants do for a win. Let's give them their first one. What they do.
All right. Well, fellas, I believe the Giants are going 0-4. It's has more so to do with the Bucks defense and how they play at home. They play better at home than they do on the road. And even with David being out for some time, I think that their front seven, mainly since they're on a 4-3, their defensive line will be getting at Eli all game. It depends, honestly, because now that I think about it, I remember I bet with the Vikings last week because of the fact that I saw so many injuries. So it actually depends, because I know Chris Baker was out last week. I don't know what his status is currently. David is out again. I don't know what that defense is going to look like. So
it's hard to make these picks on a Tuesday.
It's hard to make this one, for sure. So you know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and switch right now because I forgot about the injuries. Just give me the Giants, man. Give me the Giants. Give me the Giants plus the 3. So I just don't trust the Buccaneers with all those health issues, and I'm gonna just bank on that. The fact that they're injured right now, and they actually have to play 14 more games in a row. So go ahead, give me them Giants. Monte, who you got?
Hey fellas, quick question. What did I say early on in the show about the New York Giants?
They suck.
There goes your answer. Answer right there. Put me down. Put me down for the Buccaneers, baby.
You must ain't see that game, bro.
Yeah. I must don't care either because the Giants suck. That's how they suck.
All right. Okay, so we got him down for the Giants. The Bucks, my bad. So now we got the Lions and the Vikings. This one is even, so you don't even have to pick a spread. It's at 0. So we'll go ahead and start with you, Thomas. Who you got?
Give me my boys from the D that is in Detroit.
All right, man. Okay, cool, great, perfect. Nick, who you got?
Honestly, I don't know, bro. It's too early in the week to tell you. Detroit lost a heartbreaker. They are either gonna respond with a W or get blown out like the Bucks did.
Oh, so you covering all your grounds and shit.
Yeah, you know.
Like somebody else that we know.
Chill that out, man.
Put them down for neutral.
Nah, for real though, like it's a tie. I don't know, bro. Like Case Keenum looked too good. Stephon Diggs in his bag this year, like he looked like he about to take over. Like he trying to lead the league in everything. Damn, man, I can't even bet against Matt Stafford though.
Next.
All right, well, hurry up because the show about to end soon.
I'm about to go with Detroit, man.
Okay, you going with Detroit? Okay, cool. Well, fellas, I'm going with the Vikings. Put it down, jot it down. Championship. Yeah, I'm going with the Vikings, man. I just don't. I think that Case Keenum did enough to tell me that he was competent enough to play against play as a starter is what I should say. So with that being said, he'll be able to work his way through the Lions defense. They're not stout. They're good, but they're not stout. Or maybe average, I should say. Top 16, I give them. Top 20. I don't know what they are statistically, but I trust that offense enough to move the ball well, and I also like that defense. They don't like the way that shit ended last year for sure, and they definitely.
Hey, Mark, quick question: Who's at home?
The Vikings are at home.
I just seen
the Vikings at home.
The second thoughts.
Minnesota. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm Minnesota.
Do they get Sam?
All right, so
that's the question.
They don't need Sam, bro. They got Case, and he looked good, like great.
That was the Bucks defense.
The Bucks defense not bad, bro.
Man, I want y'all to know whoever picked Minnesota, smoking you know what. But I'm gonna go with Detroit. The reason why. I feel like Case Keenum had a good game. I don't feel like that's who he is. I don't feel like he comes out. I don't feel like he come out and do that against this Detroit defense. And I've stated this on numerous occasions. I feel like Detroit defense is underrated. I've been saying that since last year. I feel like they're underrated. Case Keenum doesn't come out and play that type of game. I think this is going to be a defensive game, but it's always hard for me to go against the best quarterback, the better quarterback playing the game. So I'm going to go with the D train.
Hey, man.
Boys from the D.
All right. Now we're gonna leave the best one for last, man. The Skins and the Chiefs.
Give me the Chiefs.
Hey, all right. Well, we got you down already. You got the Chiefs. Nick, who you got,
Chiefs, man. Locking and loaded. Championship.
Chiefs in 21.
Okay, all right. Okay, so I take the Chiefs -7 for both of y'all.
Oh, matter of fact, I'm gonna ask the question just because.
-17.
Just cause. Hey, Mo, who at home?
Chiefs.
It don't matter who at home. Chiefs anyway y'all play. Let's go.
All right, buddy. Are you done?
Are you done?
It don't matter what coverage that the Redskins run. They can run
Cover one,
cover two, cover three, cover four. Chiefs and 17.
Y'all hilarious, man. But you know what? Y'all are right. Chiefs. I think Chiefs is gonna take it. It's gonna be hard for the Skins to play. First and foremost, they haven't won an Arrowhead in a long time. Last time we played there was Santana Moss' first year here.
Man.
And yeah, that was in 05, and we lost. We lost then. It was a close game, and I also think this one's gonna be a close game. So I'd go Chiefs, but I say the Skins cover.
Prime time.
Maybe a backdoor cover, but who knows? So yeah, give me the Chiefs. Montel, who you got?
Yeah.
Oh man.
You know what, man? I'm gonna go out on a limb this week, brothers. I'm gonna go with my boys again, bruh. Maybe and you know, last week I said it wasn't a fandom pick. I'm not even gonna lie to you, this is a fandom pick. But I feel like I don't even have a reason as to why I think the Skins will win.
You just said it. It's a fandom pick, so you're going with your heart.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm
Hoping they gonna win, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with my boys this week, bro.
All right. Okay, man. Okay. Well, it was a long show. It was a good show. I am glad that we was able to talk about the politics / NFL issues, man. It was definitely enlightening to hear what you guys had to say, and just to talk about it again. Hope you all listening, felt the same way as I did, honestly. And also be sure to check out thehogstyle.com. We have opinion pieces on this from a couple of our team members.
Great pieces too. I should add both parties. Great pieces, man.
Yeah. So make sure you check that out from Sean, Conti, Steve Thomas, and Rich. I forgot his last name. I only know him by Rich. But Rich. Go ahead and check out their pieces on the situations going on in the NFL. Again, y'all got anything to add before we dip?
Yeah, his name is Rich Rogers from Guys.
Rich Rogers. Okay, cool.
Oh,
Thank you for the information.
Tight end from the Packers.
Oh, you fool! He had a great piece though. I got definitely shout out to him. He had a great piece too.
All right, Nick Thomas, y'all good?
Yeah, I'm good. My cup is empty. It's time to wind down.
You already know, baby.
All right, cool, man. All right, well, let's see who's right and who's wrong next week. Appreciate y'all for listening. I'm pretty sure Maul's gonna go undefeated because he is always right. Peep the show title from the Hog side the other day. Again,
wait, that was like a month ago. Get out.
I don't know what you're talking about. That was last week.
Last year.
Appreciate y'all for listening. All right, have a good one. Peace.
Peace.
Toodles.
Hey, bro.